Hey team, it's Grace from Graceful Bricks. Today we're going to be talking about different art that I have created, and it's going to be different. It's not part of the Out of My Head series. It's actually based on being able to touch Lego. I know, crazy thought, right? Touching Lego. But that's what we're doing. So a few years ago, my new partner, I met their mother, and their mother had degenerative eye problems, so she actually was losing her sight almost completely. And I was like, no worries, Lego is great if you can't see anything. So I got her some Lego. We built together. Let me tell you, Lego is a hard thing to do if you're not looking. Um, I built a car, and it took me over an hour to build this car. Looking through a bin of random parts, it wasn't a set. I was mocking this. It took me over an hour, and it was exhausting. Like, I worked up a sweat. And at the end of it, I saw this car, and it was kind of crazy looking. It was all different rainbow colors. It was not a very good looking car. It was car, but it wasn't good car. Um, and I'm someone who's worked with Lego and played with Lego and spent hours upon hours with Lego. And so, like, to just toss my mother-in-law in at the deep end was not so kind. Sorry, I had to cut that. I sneezed. We I started to build art that told a story in a different way because all of my art was told through visual. And I thought, that doesn't make any sense. Lego's a tactile building system. It's meant to be touched. So I wanted to create art that could be touched. Um, the other impetus for this was that I'd been to several large Lego shows, and I had seen the little bar with the rope like at a movie theater put in front of all the displays, and the sign saying "Don't touch," eyes only, that sort of thing. Um, and I have spent years taking care of little kids, and I thought, that's kind of weird that at this Lego display, we don't let kids interact with Lego the way they want to. So I just decided to create art that could be touched, and in fact needed to be touched to tell the story, and to explain what it was all about. So I'm going to show you two of those pieces. I have more, and you'll see those in a future video. But I wanted to show you sort of the first two that I really got playing with. Um, Unfortunately, they're kind of big, so I can't show you them in my Lego room. I can't hold them up and show you, so I gotta take you upstairs and show you them displayed on my bed. Because that's how it works sometimes, because every surface is covered with Lego except my bed. So hang on, we're going on a tour. So this is the piece that I created, and I'm going to try and show it to you the way that you should feel it. So this piece is called Sunrise, and I have it down here. I don't have a copy of the Braille bricks that Lego made. In fact, I didn't realize they were making those when I made this, but I made my own little Braille. It says Sunrise. At least I believe it does. So where I wanted to start is this smooth dark of night. You know, how night just sort of envelops you and there's nothing to see really. You can't feel much. And then you start to, there's a hint of something. And you're not really sure what it is, but it's something. The night has a bit of a texture now to it. It's not just all dark. There's something happening. And it's just at the periphery of your vision. So you start to, oh, there's something here. That's why I use these little jumpers. Something going on. It's slowly getting raised in texture. It's not just flat anymore. It's actually starting to rise, to pop a little. And then it starts, you feel it getting bigger. You can feel this texture getting larger. And it's more intense. See all the little dots here? All the studs? You've got more going on. And then, oh, you've got something new. This is completely new. And it's large. And the density of it. Something unique. And then you've got a little bit of a period here, just a tiny bit where you're sort of something coming, but it's just short. And then suddenly you're into something completely new, and you can feel texture. You can feel the diversity of it. And then you get these smooth awakenings. Different shapes, different textures. And then, oh, there's something big going on there. You've got all this period where it's kind of slow. It's not raising very big. It starts to get bigger, and then all of a sudden, it jumps. And that's when the sun comes up. And you've got the sun. And it's, you know, for someone who's used to darkness, it's spiky, it's sharp. It sort of assaults our eyes, and it gives us all kinds of new definition. You can feel all the changes in the way you perceive things. You can feel everything. It's granular. Your eyeballs work, but it's also sharp. So that's why I built Sunrise the way I did. It also rises. Go figure. So you can see from one end, relatively flat. Then it starts to get bigger and taller until finally you've got it all the way up. I did use color. The reason for that is that there are many people who have vision issues, have vision impairments, but they can still perceive colors. Bold, bright colors with a lot of contrast. So I used a black. The grays are intentionally sort of mixed in. Then you get the white. That's as you sort of get sun coming up and the sky sort of turns a whitish color. Then you got different pinks. And then lastly you got the bold pop of yellow. So that's Sunrise. And I really like it. Now, I have another piece for this video to show. And this one's called Center of Power. And I built it wanting to use a lot of sand green that I picked up at the Pick-a-Brick walls. So let's just take a moment and look at it. So with this one, in addition to using a lot of sand green, which is kind of a rare color, I also want to work on different shapes. So you can see here, we've got the outside is a square, all right? But then we've got triangles happening in the corners. Well, triangle. And then this breaks it even further. You've got more of a triangle going on here, another one going on there. But you've also, if you zoom out, you've got a circle around it. You can see, using the tiles, I create a circle that goes the whole way around. And then within that circle, there's a square. And then there's more little circles. And then there's a diamond. And then there's a pyramid with cones. And so the idea was to create different shapes and different textures. You can see, if you look closely here, we've got all these slopes. We've got just plain studs. We've got clips. Those feel different. You've got cheese slopes. I use some of the masonry bricks here. It gives you a different feel. You've got more tile, more clips. You've got this weird sort of thing built in the center. The goal was to create a lot of texture, a lot of different shapes, and to use just one color. It may not have told much of a story, although I look at it and I see a city. Like in England, the fortified cities with the castle walls all the way around it, and then an inner keep, and then some of the important shops and city government areas, and then of course the castle in the center. So unintentionally, it sort of looks to me like a castle city, and that's why I call it the center of power. But I also wanted the shapes, and I wanted all the different textures, and I wanted to use one color, so that really color wasn't a factor. I wasn't using color and the different ways that you can use color, green for grass, blue for sky, that sort of thing. I wanted everything to be the same. And I wanted it to be the same so that to the eye, it wasn't necessarily as visually appealing, but to the hand, it was all kinds of different things. So that's that one going on. So there you go. There's two sculptures that tell a story through touch. And I should share that I took these sculptures and others, these pieces, with me to Brickworld, the one in 2019, before the COVID pandemic. And it was interesting because I took them there and I had all my Out of My Head on one side of the tables, and on the other side I had the tactile pieces. And they had roped it off, and I had to go to somebody and say, listen, I need to remove the roping because I need people to touch these. And they said, oh, that's kind of strange, but okay. So I did, and then I realized I also had to put signs up to tell people to touch the Lego. So it was funny the entire weekend. My partner and I tag teamed the tables, and I would see parents and young children. The young children would sort of walk towards the table, because the other thing that I requested was that they took the table and lowered it. So it was only about maybe 8 inches, a foot off the ground, which is perfect height for toddlers, small children. I discovered it wasn't too good for wheelchairs. It was too low. So I need to create a way to elevate just even single pieces so that people in wheelchairs can feel them. And I mean, it was low for parents and adults, but you could get on your knees and feel them. And it was funny because the kids would totter over and they'd instantly want to touch the things, and the parents would sort of scurry after them and be like, "Oh no no!" And then they'd see the sign and they'd read it, and they go, "Oh, never mind." Or my partner and I would say, "No no, it's okay. They can touch it. That's the point." And so that was a fun experience, and I got a lot of good feedback. I have a couple more pieces that are tactile that I finished that I've been working on. Unfortunately, with the COVID pandemic, in addition to shutting down just about every public art show and a lot of the Lego fan conventions, it's really led me to have to reconsider how I do these, and the public health risk that they may present. Now, I did at the time, and I continue to every time I go with them. I provided hand sanitizers, and I asked people to sanitize their hands before they touch them, and then after they touch them, and then in the evening, I gave them a spray clean, just like a wipe down, so that they would have less risk of transmission. But certainly in an age of COVID, that's something that I'm going to have to deal with, and I'm not quite sure how to make that work. But I had a great time building them. I hope you liked them, and it's too bad you can't feel them, but give it time. You know, this whole YouTube thing, it'll figure out how to have tactile videos. But that's it for Graceful Bricks for today. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. There, I said it 3 times. Done. If you want more information, you can check out my website, my Instagram, and my Patreon if you want to support me. All those things are listed in the description of the video. You can also send fan mail to me if you feel like, and I'll open it in a video and be totally shocked and just super happy that someone sent me something. I love mail. And that's it. Hugs to everyone. I love you. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Try to be nice to people. And as always, thank you.